Hello, Africans. So today, let's look at this observation of mine. You know that any society that has lost its consciousness is a society that is prone for destruction. Is towards a path of destruction, and as such, Africa. One of the ways we could start the conversation and then continue improving Africa is by raising our consciousness, is by raising the people's consciousness. What does that consciousness mean? It means to come to a standpoint where you find your individuality, where you find what works for you, what doesn't. Our individuality would appear in our culture, would appear in how we dress, would appear in our languages, would appear in how we speak. Our individuality would appear in our choice of governance, who governs and what governs us. Our choice of consciousness, our consciousness would determine our choice of food, would determine our choice of taste, would determine our choice of environment. Is it going to be a communal environment or the private-based environment? These are conversations that as Africans we should improve. Our consciousness would also affect our choice of religion. Our choice of religion should affect our choice of religion. So by the time we become conscious, we get conscious, we become aware, we would begin to ask some of these questions and many others, that our choice of our choices in life should be determined by our level of our consciousness, our individual consciousness, our collective consciousness, our race consciousness. We should get into these conversations. We should, in fact, our level of consciousness should determine whether we want our space to grow better than it is right now, and to what speed do we want the change to occur, and in what manner. These are several things and more that are choice of consciousness. When we are conscious, that will begin to have the conversations will be tabled, tabling will be guided by the level of our consciousness. So some person would ask, how do we start the journey into a better Africa? Raise the bar of our consciousness, raise the bar of your consciousness, and not as it's being taught, not as it is being portrayed, but as it ought to be. Ask yourself, are you an African? Ask yourself and begin to examine things that you do, whether it truly reflects who you claim you are, whether it truly reflects who you truly claim you should and you want to be. And then ask yourself what an African would mean to you. Is it an undeveloped space filled with animals, or a developed space still in awe of nature and celebrating the space, the animals? So these are questions that our consciousness should be raised to us, and then we should start having wonderful and nice conversations. So I implore you to join me in raising our consciousness, and as such, raising African consciousness. See you again.